Hello, folks. This is Joe from MIGeekScene. I'm at Midwest MediaCon with Kawaii Besu. Is that how I pronounce it correctly?
Yes.
All right. Or Beth St. John.
Or Beth St. John works too.
Yes. But Kawaii has been doing cosplay for what, about 10 years now?
Almost 10 years.
Almost 10 years.
Yeah.
Sorry. Well, since you've been doing cosplay for so long, I have to ask that burning question. How did you get into cosplay in the first place?
So I was actually working at Comic-Con San Diego doing a gig for an animation company. And they said that I could come dressed up. And I was so excited that I put together this costume without really knowing much about what comic conventions are like. And I got there and people wanted to take my picture. You know, I felt like I did a really good job portraying the character and I just fell in love with it instantly. And instead of working at the conventions, now I attend them or I'm a guest at them.
Awesome. So how did you come up with the name? What does it mean?
So Kawaii Besu is a play on words of Kawaii Desu, the phrase that means it's cute. So it's kind of like saying Beth's cute.
Oh, okay. I thought it was cute, Beth, but all right. Well,
Same thing.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Who are you dressed as today?
Today I am Lilith from Borderlands 2.
Okay. Well, since you've been doing cosplay, and cosplay is based on a lot of characters from many genres and whatnot, and especially anime, what was your first exposure to anime?
My first exposure to anime was definitely Pokemon. I love Pokemon. I would wake up at like 6 a.m. each morning before school just so I could watch Pokemon reruns.
Ah,
Yeah.
No. All right. I've shared this before in another interview. I used to get up at around 5:30 in the morning to watch Sailor Moon back in the day, and
Sailor Moon was my second anime.
yeah, it was. No, I'm not ashamed to admit that. It was just there was like a pastor that was on television. I'm like, get off the television. I want to watch Sailor Moon.
I want my Sailor Moon.
You know, and yeah, that. Yes, long before I started this thing, I'm just an old school nerd.
Yeah.
All right, and also I mentioned your last name, St. John. Your dad is John St. John, the voice of Duke Nukem, who's a prominent video game character. So we're going to segue into this next question. What's your first exposure to video games?
My first exposure was Duke Nukem. There is a child safe mode or like a, what is it? You can turn off the adult language.
Okay.
And so my dad did that. So I was able to actually play the game and go through the levels and not really, I mean, it's mostly shooting aliens. I think Duke Nukem 3D was the first one that I played. And then I also, you know, man, that old PC. I played Shadow Warrior.
Okay.
And that was one of the first ones. And then, of course, Game Boy and Pokemon. I started out with Pokemon Yellow.
I did too, actually. And that was the
Yeah.
only Pokemon game I played. I was huge into RPGs, so I looked at it as that. Any other games of choice that you enjoyed while growing up? And even still now? I mean, obviously Borderlands.
Yeah, I actually just started playing Borderlands, so I'm not actually through the game yet.
I can't spoil it. I haven't played it.
Okay, good. Yeah, but I fell in love with Lilith immediately, and so I was like, I have to cosplay this character. So, yeah. Other games that I play, I'm on Steam as Kawaii Besu. I play, let's see, Half-Life. Man, for some reason, it's just like when you add like
Put on the spot.
on the spot, it's like I play so many games, but I can't think of.
No, that's cool. It's
one.
completely cool. I mean, I recently got into Steam within the last few years, and I think that's
Yeah.
an excellent platform.
Oh, it's
Man,
super
so many good games. So many indie games that I've played, like Limbo, Braid.
Yeah.
It's just Super Meat Boy.
Yeah.
That is a really difficult game right there. If you just want to pull your hair out, whether through wig or reel.
All right.
Super Meat Boy. All right, the next question. Speaking of video games, and obviously, like I mentioned earlier, your dad is the voice of Duke Nukem. He's been roasted a few times, and I did watch a video with you roasting him.
Oh man.
My question to you is, at the roast, were you hesitant to dress up as Big the Cat since your dad hates that character so much?
I was not hesitant in the slightest. I just had this idea and I ran it past my friends to see, okay, is this funny? Is this going to be embarrassing for him? And they said yes. So I did a like skin tight dress, sexy version of Big the Cat with a little froggy on my shoulder too.
I mean, the look on his face was priceless
Yeah.
when he realized.
When I walked out and he saw me.
Yes, that was great. All right, the next question. Have you pulled any cosplay pranks? I already know the answer to that, but please, could you tell the story about that?
Okay, so anime nerds will know Evangelion, and I was dressed as Asuka with the plug suit version at a convention, and I had a group of friends with me, and one of them decided to also, become part of the group and do the Angel Ramael. So we got a cardboard box and basically made it look as shitty as possible and like just wrap it in paper and duct tape things so there's like corners and edges and everything. And she just put the little box on, cut a little hole out, and she'd walk around next to me. She's a lot shorter than me, so it worked pretty well. And we'd go into the convention hall, and I would just refuse to let people take photos of me without her next to me. So she's like a lot of people would like, could you? And I'm like, no. So that was a fun one.
I think that's great, actually, because when I saw that photo, I cracked up at that.
Yeah.
I was actually at work doing research on you, and yeah, I know I shouldn't be mentioning that I was at work doing research, instead of work, but that was hilarious. And for those of you who haven't seen that photo, please check it out. I'm sure you can find it on your website or through your Twitter or Instagram.
Probably my Facebook.
Facebook, okay.
I'm
yes,
just
that too.
Kawaii Besu across all social media, so
Well,
pretty easy to
geez.
find.
Oh, man, we were going to plug that at the end, but you're pro
right.
at this.
I
You've
know.
done this before. What upcoming characters are you working on?
So I'm working on Camilla from Fates.
Okay.
I'm going to do a Fates group at Anime Expo this year. And then I decided, I don't know why, but this year was my first Pokemon cosplay. I hadn't done a Pokemon anything until now. So I decided to do more Pokemon, and I'm going to do a Vaporeon Jijinka for Colossal Con
Okay.
in the summer.
Are you, and on your website, you've hosted contests where fans could choose your next cosplay.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to do that again in the upcoming future?
It ended up being really successful. I knew that a lot of my friends who wanted to like troll me and see if it would actually happen, submitted cosplays, characters like Duke Nukem, for example, like me as Duke. I mean, I could try, or I could do like a gender bent version, but someone submitted a Teletubby. There were a couple out there ones, but for the most part, there were a lot of good submissions, and I actually did my first League of Legends cosplay because of the Choose Your Cosplay contest. And since, being exposed to the design and playing the game, I love League cosplays. So I've done Elise at this convention, and I'll probably do more in the future as well.
All right.
Yeah.
We're going to step away from the realm of cosplay for a moment. Fun fact about you, you're a realist oil painter.
Mm-hmm.
What subjects do you like to paint? Is there a particular favorite?
I really like painting people, mostly like portraits. Sometimes I'll put in like cool symbolism and try to mess with you. And I really like painting fabric too, like mostly drapey fabric.
Okay.
Yeah.
I looked at one of your paintings. It was a painting of a person's face with water dripping off of it, and that was a nice effect.
Yeah, I love painting water too because it's kind of hard to capture, but when you get the reflections and the way that the light kind of hits a ripple, then it can turn out really well.
All right. And if people wanted to find out more about you online, we'll go that again.
All right.
How can they find you?
So I do have a website. It's kawaiibesu.com. I'm also on Facebook as Kawaii Besu or Kawaii Besu Cosplay. You can search that way. Twitter, Instagram are the ones that I use the most. And then I also have a Twitch channel. Same thing, Kawaii Besu. I don't use it that often, but I'd like to get more into it. So if there are any games that I should play, tell me you want to see me play on Twitch.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what would you like to say to your fans throughout the years?
Thanks for supporting me. It's hard to kind of like put yourself out there and keep doing cosplay if you feel like people aren't really like appreciating your work. But when I get feedback like that looks so good, like you did such an excellent job on the wig styling, for example, like it just feels good and it pushes me to do more.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, Kawaii Besu, thank you for the interview.
Yeah,
Folks,
thank
this
you.
is Joe from MIGeekScene at Midwest Media Expo with, once again, Kawaii Besu. Take it easy.